we are going to take next up is Tennessee. So I'm trying to think what you would do there.
Tennessee.
And what I should do here. So Jacksonville. So Jacksonville back then, was this Jones-Drew era?
No.
No, so this is Fred Taylor era.
I think this was about Fred Taylor era, yeah.
Okay. So they were actually okay on offense. So I know that I'm going to be going defensively here.
Them boys went 14-2. They made it to the AFC Championship game.
They were really good. I think it was like Fred Taylor. This was
Jimmy Smith,
yep.
Wide receiver Jimmy Smith.
Yep. This was a very solid team offensively. I think they're going to build off of that. They're going to want to go defense. Their actual pick, if I'm jumping in there now, was R.J. Soward at wide receiver. So they were trying to build even more offense there.
Right.
I'm going to go a little bit differently. I'm going to take a guy, this is probably a reach, but I just, again, always really liked him. I'm going to go with Niles Diggs.
I like that pick.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Niles Diggs was a very solid linebacker for Green Bay for years.
He was awesome. He played an 11-year career, was a great player. Niles Diggs, always thought he was underrated. Never made a Pro Bowl because I think he played alongside. He was probably overshadowed in that division by Urlacher. Never really a standout. But man, at 29, you're getting a guy that can lock down the middle of the field for you for years to come. And I think I'm pulling the trigger here on Niles Diggs.
Thumper linebacker, downhill, smash mouth, stop the run linebacker, man. He did his job. He knew what his job was, and he did it very well for Green Bay for years.
Yeah, so I think that's where he goes. I think that's a good spot for him because I had him in my top 30. So I think here at 29, it works out.
I respect it, man. Okay, number 30, Tennessee. This is my last pick. And originally, Tennessee had drafted what?
Oh, you're not going to beat this one.
Oh, they got Keith Bulluck.
You're not going to beat this one.
Yeah, so he's long gone. We drafted him early. All right, so I'm looking at my board here. At that point, the Tennessee, they didn't have Kevin Mawai. No, he's with the New York Jets at that point. You know what? I'm going to go with another linebacker. I'm going to go Ian Gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ian Gold.
Great choice, and that's who I was down between because we had mentioned Ian Gold earlier in the cast.
Yeah,
we were talking about his speed, his ability to cover the field, and I'm trying to think. Jacksonville. Do you with the great running game there? Do you want to kind of slow the game down, or do you want that guy that can cover all over?
Yeah.
Oh man, great pick there.
I'm gonna go Ian Gold. Like you said, sideline to sideline linebacker. You plug him in at that weak side. You just let him wreak havoc behind that line of scrimmage. Not as good as Keith Bulluck, but at the same time, at this point in the draft, if you're able to get, he made a Pro Bowl. Like he's a Pro Bowl linebacker. He made one
really
Pro Bowl.
Good. Yeah.
And then, eventually his injuries caught up to him. But, you get a solid piece in your linebacking core with Ian Gold with a late first round pick. You can't be mad at that. So Ian Gold.
Very cool, man.
All right, man. And to round it all off, 31st, the Super Bowl champion St. Louis Rams.
Okay, obviously, the St. Louis Rams were an amazing juggernaut on offense. Greatest show on turf. They were just one of the best offenses you've ever seen. Their actual pick here was Trung Candidate. They went with that speedy return man / running back thug candidate, as I believe some people called him.
Shout out to Thug, man.
Thug candidate. That's not the direction that I'm going, but I am going to go with a guy that at least made a Pro Bowl. It seems like these linebackers are the way to go here. If I'm being honest, I don't remember a lot about him, but from everything that I read when I was doing research here, he certainly deserves a spot in the top 31 for me, and that's Marcus Washington. This was a guy that went towards the end of the second round out of Auburn, but from everything that I studied up on, sounded like a great player. I don't know if you have any more detail on him, but he played quite a few years, made a Pro Bowl in 2004, and had a solid career.
Solid linebacker, like you said, man. He like you said, Pro Bowl linebacker. He was he very interesting career because he wasn't necessarily a dominant pass rusher, but he had some decent pass rushing numbers when he got to Washington. So he originally was drafted by Indy, had an 8-sack season for the Indianapolis Colts, then went to Washington, had a 7.5-sack season for them, decent in coverage, made tackles. And I mean, hey, you get a Pro Bowl linebacker with the 31st overall pick. You can't be too mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was kind of going through the talent, and maybe if you had a moment, if you had any like best of the rest.
Yeah,
that you wanted
actually,
to talk
I kind of didn't want to do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, because that sounds great to me. Because there was a few here that I was kind of between, and I was looking at. I'll start off if you want to maybe just kind of go back and forth real quick on a couple of them.
Yeah, let's do it.
What I was between here was Washington, who is someone that I didn't have as much recollection of, but that seemed to have put together a really nice career. But the other guy that I definitely remembered that I thought would have been a nice fit there also on defense was Cornelius Griffin.
Okay.
That was the next guy on my board, and I thought that he would have been a good fit there too. But I just went with Washington out of the the numbers that he put up and the accomplishments that he had. But Cornelius Griffin was a great player for years, so I don't think I could have gone wrong there either. So definitely wanted to shout out to Cornelius Griffin. He was just missed the cut.
Okay, I like that. Names obviously that we didn't mention that was drafted like top 15 was Bubba Franks.
Okay.
I had him ranked 29th on my board, and really just the way that the board fell, couldn't really find a team for him. I was thinking Indianapolis for him for a minute because this is before Dallas Clark, before they really had that sure-handed tight end.
That's cool.
But went a different direction there. But
we didn't go tight end at all, did we?
No tight ends was drafted.
No tight ends drafted in the first round.
No tight ends drafted in this first round.
Okay.
And only 2 quarterbacks.
Yep.
Yeah, only 2 quarterbacks.
Tom Brady was and Mark Bolton. Huge reach. No big deal. No big deal.
Hey,
I'm kidding. I like
Bolton. As long as we get some Super Bowls out of it in Baltimore,
Bolger.
We good with it. But yeah, Bubba Franks was one. Another one that I didn't mention that I had on my board was Chad Pennington.
Yep.
Originally he was drafted by the New York Jets. I had him 30th on my board, and then again, just the way that the board fell, really wasn't no spot for me to place him. I mean, the New York Jets at 27, that could have been a spot for him there, but we go Dante Hall there instead. Maybe Buffalo, I could have selected him at 26. That would have been a nice little heir apparent to, who's Buffalo's quarterback at that point?
Buffalo Bills quarterback
was that Flutie?
2000? Oh man, in 2000,
was that Johnson?
Let me think. It might have been Rob Johnson.
I think it was Rob Johnson.
Give me 1 second. I'll find out for us. So.
Okay.
Bills QB then was Doug Flutie. You nailed it.
Flutie Flakes, baby.
98 to 2000 was Doug Flutie.
Okay.
So you definitely nailed that one.
So yeah, maybe Pennington could have slotted there. Maybe Buffalo would have picked him up there, but nonetheless, Chad Pennington doesn't go in the first round in this draft. He would be a second round pick for sure.
Yeah, I think definitely. And you know what? For where his career panned out, he was actually okay. If he didn't have shoulder surgery after shoulder surgery, he might have been okay. He ended up being a decent little game manager for the Dolphins for a while. He had an okay career, I guess, with the Jets. But, I always had love for him. He was all right. There's, nothing wrong with his career other than the injuries. That's certainly set him back. I guess Peter Warwick never went, so he didn't make our cut there despite some other wide receivers going. That's another guy that had ultimately a decent enough career.
I did not like him at all. At all.
Not even a little bit?
Not even a little. I think I like him less than Travis Taylor.
Okay. So he was that combination was they had Peter Warwick. I want to say Carl Pickens was out there for a while. Jeff Blake was their quarterback.
I do remember Jeff Blake.
So Jeff Blake was out there. That was they never really put it together offensively, I think, until a little bit later once they had Ocho Cinco and Hushmanzada. That was the first time. And with Carson Palmer. Yeah. That offense never really clicked with Warwick and Blake and that whole group. So I guess that's why he was off our list. We never went back to one that was kind of surprising. We said he had a solid career. Was Courtney Brown. We never went back to
Courtney Brown in this draft would probably be like a 3rd or 4th round pick for me.
You think so?
Yeah.
You didn't have him anywhere near there up the top?
No, he's not. I had 40 players on my big board, and no, he's nowhere near it.
Okay.
You want me to rattle off the rest of the names here on my big board?
Sure, go for him. Right, I only had a couple more, so you go first.
So I had Dhani Jones.
Oh.
I had him 33rd.
Okay.
Chris Hovan, I had him 34. Shout out to Mike Anderson, running back, 35th. He was actually the offensive rookie of the year his rookie season in his draft class for the Denver Broncos. He had a very good couple of seasons with Denver.
Very cool.
So I had him ranked 35th. Niall Diggs, you drafted him. I had him.
Yep.
Bobby Williams, offensive guard out of Arkansas. He had a very solid career of spanning 10 seasons. Janikowski, I had ranked 38, and then also Neil Rackers, I had 40.
Okay, Neil Rackers.
I had Neil Rackers.
Had a kicker in there.
I had 2 kickers in my top 40.
Okay. Where did you have Shane Leckler? Did you have him at all?
I had Shane Leckler 39.
Okay, because I had some fun with that pick. Obviously, I think if I didn't do something goofy with Shane Leckler right there, and before we had the whole jet strategy planned out, there might have been no more Raiders-esque pick than taking Dante Hall there also. So that was another guy that I considered, but it's just, for fun.
That actually probably would have been the pick. Like if Al Davis was alive right in this room with us, he would have told him, no, take Dante Hall. He got speed. Okay. He's a winner.
I can totally see baby. That. Just win. So a couple other guys other than the ones that you mentioned that I think had decent little careers. Fred Robbins, defensive tackle. I'm not sure that you mentioned him.
I did not.
I remember, this is a guy that I remember, so maybe he's not as spectacular as I thought, but I always remember him being really good in Madden, and I always remember drafting him a little bit later on in Madden. But Kenoy Kennedy, I thought was a really good player at safety.
Okay.
And other than that, I'm now what I'm doing. If I'm describing what's going on in the room here, I'm kind of scrolling down through the rest of the draft. I'm glad that Brad Meester went. That's a really cool pick. Brad Meester
did not go.
You didn't take Brad Meester?
I didn't take Brad Meester. That's another pick of mine that I'm kind of.
You mentioned him as one of your best of the rest.
I mentioned him. I was thinking about selecting him for Indy if they didn't have Saturday, but they did at that point.
Yep.
So then I went Plaxico Burress instead.
Okay.
Yeah, Meester unfortunately would be slipping to the second round.
Yeah, he would have been a good one. That would have been a good choice. Maybe I slipped up there because you want to look back and you want to kind of figure out where maybe you made some mistakes.
It happens.
I think Meester going.
I mean, that's the draft. Like good players fall. Like that's every draft. Good players always fall.
I feel like we didn't lean on offensive linemen too heavily either, and I feel like Meester could have fell in there.
Yeah, he definitely could have. This draft is very defensive oriented.
It really was.
So let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18 picks were defensive players. 18 out of 31 were defensive players.
Wow, that's wild.
I mean,
man.
and if you want to count Shane Lecter as a defensive player, punter, that's the 19
defense/special teams.
I'm
with that. That's awesome, man. I'll tell you what, we've definitely got to do this again. Because looking at this here today was a lot of fun,
right?
I'll tell you what, not only doing this here was fun because, going back and forth with the picks,
yes,
and changing on the fly because I'm not knowing what you're doing, you're not knowing what I'm doing, but the prep for this, I couldn't believe how much fun it was to go back, look at the names, look at all the players that were
be able to rank them.
Yep, to bring them back together. It was a lot of fun, man. So
very fun. Wait till we do next one, 2001. Did you get a chance to look at that draft?
No, I haven't looked ahead yet.
You thought awesome. This draft was stacked? Woo!
Okay.
I can't wait to do 2001. I can't even get it out. I'm so excited.
Very cool. Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. We'll have to definitely do that one soon. And I appreciate this.
Man.
This one, I'm letting everybody know this was Bryce's idea.
Yes.
Loved it, man. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad you thought of it.
I was inspired by other ideas. I mentioned that as well.
You did.
Got to give the love there. But man, this is an awesome time. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna continue forward. I'm planning on having this going for the next 19 drafts, all the way up until 2019.
All right.
So we're gonna redraft all these shits. Yeah, we got to come up with some content for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy listening to this as much fun as we enjoy doing it. I know I'm about to go back and listen to it as soon as I edit this shit. So I'm looking forward to it. Go and like our Facebook page. Go and follow us on Facebook, Sports Your Enthusiasm Podcast. Like us on Twitter, SYE Pod. Send us some emails. Give us some feedback on what you guys thought about our draft picks. I know we've probably goofed up somewhere that people don't like. I want to hear where you guys would have drafted certain players, what you think your team would have did had you been in the position to select for them. I'm very curious to hear that. So definitely email us, sportyourenthusiasmpodcast@gmail.com. We have a contest going on for a new logo. Freelancer. It's on our Facebook page. It's on our Twitter page. If you are an artist, digital art, a background in any of that, go and participate in it. It's a $50 reward that's up there, and we got a lot of entries so far. We're going to be picking a winner soon. So definitely, if you're interested, go and take a stab at it. Make sure you're drinking some more water. Make sure you're staying hydrated.
Oh, you beat me to it. I have totally decided to try to steal your line there whenever possible and take your thunder. But you already got them this time. So stay hydrated, stay safe, wash your hands, all that good stuff. Be good to one another, and we'll be back at you real soon.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Take care.